Arizona, homeowner's best friend.
Back in the urban farm with Farmer Greg, talking about growing wild food. And one thing we didn't get to was layers. And I love this point of layering. It strikes me every time. It's so obvious, but not something that people take time to really plan out.
Yeah, plan out or think about. That's a really important piece of a forest. You know, when you walk into a forest, you don't walk into plants all the same size. There's different layers. And in permaculture, we like to look at the different layers. And the overstory trees are the shade trees for us. In the backyard at the urban farm in Phoenix, there is a 60-foot tall ash tree. It's an Arizona ash. It was 60 foot tall when I moved in there in 1989. And I managed the height of that tree and managed the tree over the years. And it was a beautiful shade tree. It created nice shade for the house in the afternoon. It was right in the perfect spot. And every fall, it would dump all kinds of leaves on me for mulch. In fact, one of the interesting things was I had the neighbors trained. I had 3 different neighbors that would bring me their bags of leaves every fall because I was using them for the basins around the trees and in the compost piles. So the value of an overstory tree is shade and mulch. And then underneath the overstory trees is the understory trees. Now in our fruit tree program, we like to encourage people to keep their fruit trees small, 6 to 7 foot diameter and no more than about 8 or 10 feet tall, because a peach tree can get 30 feet tall and a peach at the top of a 30-foot tall peach tree is bird food. So we like to encourage urban orcharding and keeping our trees small. So if you plant on the west side of your property, you plant shade trees. Mesquites are great, Palo Verdes are great, ironwoods are great. By the way, they all produce a seed that is edible. So wild food, you can incorporate native wild foods in your landscape as well that will provide shade. And all 3 of those trees are nitrogen fixers. So all the leaves, when they fall, have a little bit of nitrogen in them. And then there's the shrub layer. And, you know, any bushes that you have, there's the dwarf black mulberry that's a nice bush. And those are underneath, you know, we keep them smaller so you can harvest them on, you know, standing on the ground. Berry bushes are in the shrub layer. And then the next layer, layer number 4, would be our veggie herb garden layer. They call it the herbaceous layer. And that's anywhere from ground to, you know, about 3 feet up. That's where our gardens are at. And then the next layer would be the root layer.
Rosie on the house, every Arizona homeowner's best friend.